Good evening and welcome to Delta T Racing. I'm Nelboy and I'll be commentating on tonight's Division 1 action live from Spa-Francorchamps. Always very excited to be back with Division 1. We have the best drivers from Delta T Racing taking part, and normally we have some very good racing. So we'll look forward to that tonight. I think we have people at the moment. I'm not sure if we have anybody out on the track. I don't believe we do. Let's get the details up so we're ready for when they do go out. Okay. So here we are with the full track map out. So let's follow out of the pits. I'm going to follow Yari. Yari has some amazing speed. He's proved that in previous leagues that he's been in. So it'll be very interesting to see how he goes at Spa. Obviously took pole position in the first race of the season at Mexico and finished 8th in the race. But we shall see what he can do. Okay, so just following Yari at the moment in the Mercedes. So just warming his tyres up, ready to go for his first hot lap. Apologies, I'm just posting the video at the moment. Doesn't seem to want to work. So let's try that again. And then I can get back to commentating. Right, apologies about that. We've now got that sorted, so I can now continue with the commentary. As I say, we're following Yari at the moment on his outlap, on his first flying lap, should I say. Looking there with the purple middle sector. Okay, as he goes into sector 2, I'm just going to keep an eye out on everybody else that's out as well. Try and keep an eye on people. So let's just go on board with Yari for a moment. So coming in towards the final sector now. Around Stavelot there, so obviously we'll be now approaching up towards Blanchimont. Franklin Bosmots has gone off track a bit there. We're just trying to get out the way. 10k there with a 1:43.267 takes provisional pole position. Just going to follow on with Yari and see what time he can put down. And who else do we have crossing the line? Okay, well Yari's gone, well he went second, he's now third. Bren there with a 1:43.918. Bren actually making his debut today. Has recently been promoted I believe into the Alpine, so be interesting to see how he gets on this season. So following, we've got Mamba and Stein goes 1:42.8. Mamba 43.03. Let me see who else we have coming through. I think we've got Benny here. He's going to come through with a 1:42.916, which puts Benny into provisional second place. Cracking lap by Benny there. Prince Killer taking provisional pole at a 1:42.5. Prince has shown pace in the last couple of races, been a bit unfortunate with some incidents late in the race, which meant he hasn't finished. But he's certainly got the pace there, so let's not write him off on any stretch of the imagination. We're following Donkey Dan now coming into the chicane, just onto the start-finish line. We'll see what time Donkey Dan can put down. Donkey Dan reserving today in the Alfa Romeo for Wesley, who's not feeling very well. So Wesley, get well soon, and we look forward to seeing you back soon. Donkey Dan, meanwhile, puts in a 42.7, so he's certainly continuing the speed that that Wesley was showing. So look, who else do we have? We've got the Alfa Romeo Shabby coming in there. Kiko now, again, it's his first race today. He's on his outlap, so we'll keep an eye on him. Invisible just behind as well on his outlap, so he'll be starting his fast lap soon. Okay, so we're following Kiko down the Kemmel Straight here. And turning into turn 5, which is Lacombe's, and through into Malmedy. And heading down into turn 8, Bruxelles. This corner here, I always struggle with this corner. I either invalidate or I'm just so slow through there. I can't seem to get that right personally. Hoping I might be able to pick up some tips tonight. So following Mikiko, see how he gets on in his first race. But while we're following Kiko, yes, we've had some dropouts of the league. Haas have parted company with Clarkey. We've had AlphaTauri have parted company with Chronicle Blitz. Alpine have parted company with Sadio Mane. And we've also had the 2 Ferraris that have got rid of both their drivers. So unfortunately at the moment Ferrari haven't recruited any new drivers, but they are using some reserves tonight in Wazza, who's always got very good pace in Division 4, and Xavi as well will be stepping in tonight, so good luck to you guys in the Ferrari. Kiko there with a 1:43.7, only last person, let's press the wrong button there, the last person on the flying lap at the moment is Invisible, so we'll just follow Invisible through the final sector. We'll see what his time is. 1:14.9. Certainly it's not up there with the fastest, but not a bad time either. They're saying we also have Wazza now on a hot lap as well, Boss Mots and Xavi as well. So we should get everybody now setting some lap times. So here we go with Invisible crossing the line. We'll see what time he can set himself. It's a 1:43.5, puts him provisionally up into 9th place. So a solid lap there by Invisible, gets himself a time on the board. It'll be interesting to see if he can improve on that. I'm assuming there's going to be at least one more run for people here. Obviously with a very long lap, it's you don't want to leave it too late because you can get caught out. I have seen that happen before. They're going around on the outlap, and unfortunately the time's run out, so no more qualifying for you. But following on with Wazza, say into sector 3 now. So Wazza doing very well in Division 4. So he's got an awful lot of pace. He's normally within the top 2 or 3 for qualifying. It's just the races he struggles a bit in. He's got all the pace. It's just he either gets involved in a small incident somewhere, or makes a slight mistake, which can ruin his race for him. But he tucked himself in 13th there with a 1:44.031. Certainly nothing to be ashamed of in Division 1. So who else is coming? Xavi will be the next across the line. And he puts 1:43.1, puts himself up into 8th. He's going to keep an eye on Shabby and Bosmot, so the only two not to set a time yet. Shabby, let's say, defending Division 1 champion, so we know he's got oodles of pace. Again, he's been very unlucky in races this year. I've been involved in incidents that have dropped him down, but he's recovered well. Still sitting in 2nd place in the championship with 33 points, 17 points behind our leader, which is TRT Chalkers. So Jerry there with a 1:42.2 goes to pole position, swiftly beaten by Shabby with a 1:42.246. So only 0.025 difference there, but that's the difference between 1st and 2nd. Okay, so who else do we have coming towards the lap? Okay, Bren's invalidated. Chalkers is invalidated. I think he'll come in and go out on another run there. I have to admit, I did Chalkers a disservice by saying that he wanted to improve on his qualifying. It was actually only at Mexico that he'd been struggling in qualifying. He's pretty quick, to be honest. I mean, he's had a 1st and a 2nd this year. In qualifying, and obviously totally dominant with 2 wins. So Benny there with a 1:42.6, jumping up into 4th place. And who do we have coming in? Michael. Again, Michael, great amount of pace. He's been a little bit unlucky in the last couple of races, but still sitting 3rd in the championship. Crosses the line, 1:42.213, so takes himself provisional pole there. Okay, next across the line is going to be Prince, but I think he's on he's on a slowdown lap. Stein has invalidated. Who else do we have out here? Xavi, Wazza. Trying to find where everybody is on track. I do apologise about this. Jerry is going to be coming in. He's set his lap there. So who do we have down here? Black Mamba. Okay, again, looks like an ease-off lap. So it doesn't look like we've got anyone on an absolute flyer at the moment. We'll just keep an eye on Chalkers just in case, but he's invalidated. So that's not going to help him at all. I think everyone 10k's out. I'm not sure if he retired in the pits. Couldn't see anything out on track, so I am assuming that it is a retirement in the pits. Black Mamba now coming into the pits. We've got Tickard coming into the pits. Okay, so it looks like everybody's going to be making their final pit stop now. And going out on fresh softs for one last run. And so we're into the final 4 minutes now. Bosmot's coming in as well. So everybody into the pits except Michael, who he's on a slowdown lap, so he'll be coming in, put fresh softs on, give it one more go. There we go. So the furthest out on track at the moment we have Invisible, who is coming into the pits as well. So we have nobody really. Bren and Wazza are both out at the moment. So obviously looking to improve on 16th and 17th position on the grid. Here we are approaching the last chicane corner. And then he'll be starting his fast lap. Donkey Dan now out of the pits. He's going to be going for his last run, but we're just going to follow through with Bren at the moment as a new addition to Division 1 and to DTR, along with Kiko, both making their DTR debuts tonight in Division 1. So welcome, gentlemen. It's a pleasure to have you here, and we wish you well for the race. We're in there through Eau Rouge and Radion onto the Kemmel Straight. One of the main overtaking places on this lap, the Kemmel Straight, and then try and take either around the inside or the outside of Lacombe. There's a few overtaking opportunities here, but as I say, the Kemmel Straight is normally the best with regards to the DRS, ERS and slipstream. You really can make up so much time down there. So following Brem, we'll see how he is getting on, coming towards the end of Sector 2. And then there's going to be a big gaggle behind that are all going to be setting laps hand over fist. So we need to try and keep an eye on that, because I think there's going to be some big improvements here. So there we go, Bren coming up to the final part of the track now, into the chicane, on to the start-finish line. We'll see what time Bren can put down. 1:43.182, moves himself up into 12th, so ahead of 10k. Wazza's the next across the line. He's 7/10ths up on his time at the moment, so should be looking at a 43.290 up into 14th place. That's a good lap by Wazza there. Okay, so who is the lead? I think it might be Donkey Dan. Could be the lead car that's about to set a lap. So we'll ride on board with him a bit, but I'm trying to keep my eyes peeled, because we're going to have an awful lot of people quickly setting hopefully faster quick time. So I mean, at the moment as we're standing, we've got Michael in provisional pole position with a 1:42.213 in the McLaren. In second place in the Alfa Romeo, we've got Shabby. Third in the Mercedes, we have Yari. Prince in fourth, Stein in fifth, Benny in sixth, Donkey Dan seventh, eighth Bossmots, ninth Tickard, and 10th Black Mamba. So that's a top 10 at the moment. But obviously they'll be looking at trying to improve as much as they can on these lap times. So a yellow flag in sector 2 there. I'm not sure if that's a spinner or whether people are just letting each other pass. But Donkey Dan there with up into 4th place with a 1:42.436. A cracking lap by him there. We are then, who is next across the line? Wazza has invalidated. Bren just behind him has set his lap, so he'll be coming into the pits. Are we looking at Invisible or Stein? Stein is going to be the next across the line. It's poetic there. Stein crossed the line. So currently with a 1:42.672. He crosses the line and improves to a 1:42.555, but remains in 6th position. Okay, so who do we have? Prince with a 1:42.463. Yari's finished on a 1:48.882. I missed that, Yari. That is an awesome lap. 1:41, there are only times that I could dream of, unfortunately. So let's follow. Michael has invalidated, so he will not be improving on his 2nd place. Bossmots is going to be the next across the line. Currently a 1:42.7 in 8th place. We'll see what he can improve to. Comes up to the line now. Something happened on the start-finish line there. That was very close. Luckily, there wasn't an incident there. It could have been a lot worse. And so that closes the Belgian Grand Prix qualifying. In pole position, we have Yari with a 1:41.882, a fantastic lap. .331 gap to Michael in second place. In third we have Shabby. Fourth, Donkey Dan. Fifth we have Prince. In sixth, Benny. Seventh, Stein. Eighth, Bossmots. Ninth, Kiko on his debut. That's a very good result there. Tickard there in 10th place. Black Mamba in 11th. 12th we have Zavi. 13th, Bren. 14th, 10K. 15th, Wazza. 16th, Invisible. And last, we have Chalkers. So the championship leader has it all to do. So after me saying to him that I expected pole position today with his recent qualifying, he's let me down. Gone to the back of the grid. So no more predictions for me.
It's Sunday and that means it's race time here in Spa. As the cars are being prepared, let's join them trackside for the start of the Belgian Grand Prix. Spa-Francorchamps today, a circuit that spans 4.35 miles. There are tons of elevation changes along the way too. 19 corners making up this circuit, with 9 of those to the right and the remaining 10 to the left. This track is a great one for fans of pure speed. The average lap speed comes close to a whopping 145 miles an hour.
Well, welcome back everybody. We have a wet race, and it looks a very wet race. So we have Inters. Let's just check, see if everybody's on Inters, if anybody's gone for the wet weather tyres. No, nobody has. So we are looking at a wet start on Inters. This could be very, very interesting. We'll get the details up here. We'll get some position change. Telemetry I'm not going to put up this week because I don't want to give anyone that's watching a tactical advantage over anybody else. But looking there, the predicted tyres are obviously the Inters, so we're going to be looking at a one-stopper. I mean, obviously you could do a two-stopper. Not sure whether it's going to dry up during the race or not. But we will wait and see. So, okay. Let's get ourselves set up for the start of the race. As I say, looking at the standings at the moment, we've got Chalkers leading the way with 50 points. As I say, maximum points out of the two races. Currently in 17th on this grid, though. He's got an awful lot to make that up. But I wouldn't put it past him whatsoever. Shabby in second place in the championship, 33 points, so 17 behind. We then have Michael in third on 21. Bossmots on 15, Wesley 13, Clarkey, who has now left, on 12, Broom on 12, Benny and Prince Killer both on 10, Stein on 9, Zavi on 8, 4 for Yari and Black Mamba, Beatty Nuts on 2, and the rest failing to score so far. McLaren leading the way in the constructors with 71 points as opposed to Alpha's 46, both of those way ahead of the rest. Mercedes, Williams and Haas rounding out the top 5 there. Okay, so we are coming now round to the chicane for the end of the formation lap. And we'll wait for everybody to take their grid position. Chalkers at the rear there. Actually looks like he has a car behind him there. Looks like Waz has dropped down a couple of places on the warm-up lap. Okay, so let's hope we can get a decent camera position here. I'd like to start with Michael and see how we get on. So we are waiting for the lights. Seems everybody is now in their position. So here we go. We're waiting for the lights. We have 1 red light, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go for the Belgian Grand Prix. Good start there by Yari. Michael and Shabby look like they could be battling going into the first corner here, but we'll just keep an eye just to see if there's any contact. Seems a fairly clean corner, to be honest with you. So let's jump back to the front and see how we are getting on there. Obviously Michael into second place. Has Shabby right behind him, obviously struggling for grip going up through Eau Rouge and Radion there. Shabby just breezes past there, obviously got much better grip. The two of these are pulling away from Donkey Dan ever so slightly. We're going to keep an eye and see what else is going on as they move a little bit further back. So Chalker's already up into 13th place, so he's already made up 4 places at the start. Doesn't surprise me at all. Invisible there, having a bit of a bad first lap there. It's a bit of a spin. He's going to lose a lot of time there, but still a long way to go in this Grand Prix. And at Spa, anything can happen, and it normally does, to be honest, especially with wet conditions. So you just never know what's going to happen. But Shabby comfortable in second place there at the moment. And so he got himself past Michael early on. And just pulling a small gap. Obviously no DRS in the wet conditions. So yeah, nice and spread out at the moment. So the nose to tail, but there's haven't seen any incidents there, although Boss Motts and Tickard behind him both had a bit of a tank slapper coming out of the chicane there. And a bit of a move there as Tickard goes for a move on Kiko. Oh, sorry, Kiko goes on Bren, so the two new boys battling it out there. Wazza pulls into the pits, obviously some nose damage there for Wazza again. He's not had the best of first laps. But out front, Yari, pole position, just happily taking it at the start. Closely followed by Shabby in the Alfa Romeo, then Michael in the McLaren in third place. They've now pulled out a small 1.5 second gap on Donkey Dan, who's doing proud for the Alfa Romeo, standing in for Wesley today. They're currently in fourth place. Then Prince just behind him fifth. Again, so Prince, very good driver, so I will expect him to do fairly well in this. Stein sitting happily in sixth at the moment. Benny doing very well in seventh. Good to see Benny back. So missed the first race, but came back last week and picked up a fifth place at Azerbaijan. So a good return there by Benny, but he's down a position at the moment, but nothing major to worry about. But Shabby at the front has closed in on Yari, so I'm not sure if we have a virtual safety car. Wazza. Should have known Wazza, bless you. He's valuable experience for his Division 4 race, which will be coming up tomorrow night. But hasn't lasted very long, unfortunately, here in Division 1. Retirement on the second lap. So, Wazza, not quite sure what happened to you. We missed that one. So, under the virtual safety car, all of the times are, well, the gaps are basically stay the same as it was explained to me. It's like putting two cars on the same Scalextric track. They'll follow around each other at the same speed, and that's exactly how the virtual safety car should work, neutralising the race. So the virtual safety car's gone now. We're back to racing. Yari there did very well. He's actually pulled himself out nearly a second and a half lead on Shabby. So I think Shabby must have been caught there, perhaps just below his delta, having to slow down. And then Michael just behind. I noticed Donkey Dan as well has closed up a second under that virtual safety car. Was 1.5 seconds behind Michael, now less than half a second. So it seems some people have gained, some people have lost from the virtual safety car. And looking at penalties now, we've got the front three have all picked up penalties. I'm hoping that is not for speeding under the safety car. Let's have a quick look. If I can remember where it is. Penalty. Oh no! The front three have drive-through penalties. That is absolutely going to ruin their races. So speeding under the safety car is so easy to do. It really is. But here we go. We've got Yari, Shabby, Michael all coming into the pits now. We're just going to leave Donkey Dan to move into the lead. So yeah, top three picking up drive-throughs there. I would have expected a little bit better there, but it's so difficult under these virtual safety cars. You can literally be a second under your delta absolutely fine, and then as you're coming into a corner and you brake, and all of a sudden you're over by half a second. It's so easy to do and so frustrating, because that really is pretty much a race changer for them. But Donkey Dan won't be complaining, sitting in the lead at the moment. So in Wesley's car this week. So let's see Wesley in the chat. Good to see you, Wesley. Hope you get yourself well. It'll be good to see you back in the Alfa Romeo next week. Okay, so the gaps are sort of there. I mean, Chalker's now up into 9th, and just as I changed there, Chalker spins. Looks like he went up the inside. Be careful when you're rejoining Chalkers. He's now last on the track, so it doesn't matter. So basically, the championship leader now back to the back of the grid in 16th place after making up 8 places up into 9th. He's dropped his way down. There's still a long way to go. I think he can certainly pull himself back up into the points. So we'll just follow on with Mamba at the moment. He's got Yari behind him now. Very angry Yari, I would have thought, after the drive-through penalty. And Shabby just behind him there as well is going to look to make a move around the outside of Mamba, which he has indeed. Small little bit of love tap there, I think, between Shabby and Yari, but nothing major. Chalker's into the pits. Has he got wing damage? Yeah, front wing damage, so Chalker's in to change there. Meanwhile, we will follow Shabby now right on the back of Yari. He goes for a move up the inside. Thinks better of it, just keeps himself back. But this, I think, is going to be a stonking little battle here between Yari and Shabby as they work their way back up through the field. Shabby now just dropped back a little bit from Yari. Perhaps settling down, but Yari closing in on Xavi in front of him now. And Xavi not far behind 10k, so Yari's already back up into the point. Shabby not far from it. Chalker's now with it all to do. So he's sitting down in 16th place, 29 seconds behind 15th place in front of him. So it's still a long way to go, so I wouldn't put it past him to pull his way back up towards the front of the grid. The lap's getting slightly quicker now. Obviously people getting a bit more confident Maybe some rain being cleared off ever so slightly. Yari with a 155.7. Yeah, just looking at the back there, Chalkers has already closed in 2 seconds on one sector on Pico, so he's obviously looking very comfortable on his new set of inters with a new front wing. So let's get back to the front. We got Prince. In second place, just behind Donkey Dan. It's a good race so far for Donkey Dan, but we've got the front four very, very close together. Donkey Dan, Prince Killer, Iris Stein, and Benny has worked his way up into 4th place. So Benny's normally very good in the wet. I don't want to talk too much because I really do not want to jinx him, but he has won before in a wet race at Spa, so I would expect him to be there or thereabouts. Boss Mott's now not far off the back of this train either, and then Tickard just behind as well, so we could end up with a 6-way train here soon. Just keeping an eye at the back here. Yari and Shabby closing in on Xavi now. It's under a second. If we had DRS, they would be in the DRS zone, but I can see them just chipping away at that gap piece by piece. And Chalkers at the back's got the gap down to 1.5 seconds on Kiko. Can only assume Kiko either had an issue or may have come into the pits. In fact, he has come into the pits, got 0 laps on his tyres, so he has pitted. Let's keep an eye back at the front, and we got Donkey Dan going wide there, and up the inside, Prince Killer looks for the move, doesn't quite make it, but he's still looking as to whether he's going to make a move going up into Eau Rouge. And Radion, I think that would be very brave, likely to sit behind along the Kemmel Straight, use the slipstream. I can see a change for the lead happening here. Donkey Dan obviously coming to the inside to cover off. And Prince makes the move up the inside, giving each other room there. So Prince not going for the move on that occasion. And you keep an eye on Yari here. Looks like he is... Oh, I thought he was going to make a move on Yavi then. Xavi even, sorry. And here we have Shabby and Yari side by side. Shabby goes round the inside there. That's a good move by Shabby. A bit later on the brakes going into Bruzel there, and makes the move stick on Yari. So it'll be interesting now to see if Shabby will close down on Xavi. Who's not far himself behind 10k. So nobody really making a break for it at the moment. Obviously we've had the issues with the drive-throughs for the top 3 at the time, which was very unfortunate. But from our point of view, it makes for a good race to see their fight back through the field. So a quick look at the chat. What we got in there? We got obviously DTR Ends. Good evening, Ends. Good to have you, Evil Master. And obviously Wesley as well, we've mentioned as well. He's feeling a bit better now, so that's good to hear, Wes. You get yourself some rest. And so we'll look forward to seeing you back on track when you're feeling well. Okay, so 10k there has picked up a penalty. And looking at the front, we're getting very bunched up now. We have 6 drivers, all within a second of each other. Yari! Yari's out! Oh, Yari! Where was that? Just at the top of Radion. Looks like he's caught the curb there. We have a virtual safety car again. So this is going to neutralise the race. So Yari completely missed what happened there, but obviously just at the top here for going through Radion. It's been cleared away now, but maybe took a bit too much curb or just lost some traction. But That's such a shame. That would have been cracking to see him and Shabby fighting their way back through. So okay, Yari there leaving the session, so Ozzy's got to cool down a bit. It's, emotions running high. So it does seem like the drive-through might have been for no reason, but we'll have to see on that. It is very glitchy, this game, unfortunately. It's such a fantastic game, but we got glitches that... And they're not new. They're kind of ones that we thought would have been sorted out a long time before now, but hopefully Codemasters will get it together, maybe for the release of 2022, but we're still hopeful that we can get a patch out that will sort this all out. Back at the front, we've got Donkey Dan still leading the way with Prince Killer just behind him. IRS Stein in third place, literally just behind as well. Benny still in fourth place. Again, less than a second behind Stein, so the top three aren't separated by a great deal. Then got a bit of a gap to Bossmots in fifth of a couple of seconds. Just behind him we have Tickard. Then 10K, Shabby now working his way up into eighth place. After the drive-through penalty under the safety car. Bren on his debut up into 9th, and in 10th we have Xavi at the moment. So looking at that, that's our top 10. Ticket there picking up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Not going to help him currently sitting in 6th, although Ticket behind him does have a penalty as well, but we will be looking at Shabby, I think, not too soon before he makes a move on 10K. So we've got a few little battles. Bren there picking up a time penalty, so again, commentator's curse. After saying he's doing really well to get himself up into the points on his debut, he picks himself up a penalty. But let's follow on line with Shabby at the moment. So 10K just in front of him. He's got a bit of a gap behind him to Bren, who's also got that 3-second penalty. But I can see Shabby here. Is he going to go for a move up the inside of 10K? It looks like he might. Good move there by Shabby, moving himself back up into 7th position. Good move there, Shabby. Let's go back to the front down the going through Eau Rouge and Radion onto the Kemmel Straight. We'll see if Prince is in a position here where he can make the move. He's in the slipstream on Donkey Dan. I'm just not sure if he's got enough drive just before the corner. He doesn't. Or does he? Looks like Donkey Dan's missed the corner out there, so really should concede the place, which he does. Now it'll be interesting going down into Bruxelles. We'll see what kind of a exit Prince got, which is pretty good. So Prince up into the lead of the race. A bit of a mistake there by Donkey Dan going into Malmedy, which unfortunately pushed himself wide. Allowed Prince pretty much a free overtake, but he still made a good fight of it. Wasn't going to give the position up. So Prince now into the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. So it's his third race in DTR. And Benny's still sitting there in fourth, nice and happy, just sitting behind at the moment. He's got good pace, he's keeping up with everyone. Bossmot's just behind. Gap still around about that 2 seconds, so that doesn't seem to be closing down much at all. Quick look, Michael here, looks like he could go for a move on Xavi. Thinks better of it. Xavi takes the inside, which means he's going to be slow. Can Michael get the power down a bit quicker? He goes for the move around the outside. It looks like it's a clean move, and it is indeed. And Michael past Xavi there up into 10th. So Michael starting his recovery. So at the front, Prince now pulled out a second gap already on Donkey Dan. So I think he was struggling a little bit behind him. Xavi there picking up a 3-second time penalty. So at lap 11, halfway through the race, we are starting to pick up penalties now. Keeping an eye further back, we have Stein not far behind Benny. Benny's actually moved himself up in a 3rd place. I completely missed that, Benny, but well done. It was a good move there. He's lost a little bit of time to Donkey Dan, but obviously if he's made an overtake, then that will be why. Chalkers still in 15th place. You keep going, you never know. You might pick up some points. So 15, it only takes another 5 retirements and you find yourself picking up a point. That could be so important come the end of the season. I think this is going to be a pretty close division. We do have quite a lot of drivers in here that are capable of winning on their day. But this will certainly close the championship up with Chalkers currently not scoring. Shabby in 7th. He will close the gap ever so slightly there. Bosmots and Stein having a bit of a battle. Shabby. Okay, Donkey Dan's pitted. So he's coming, he's had enough of those inters, looking at putting a fresh set on for the second half of the race. So he will just be looking at a 1-stop. Obviously it is possible to take the Inter's full race distance, but you're going to struggle in the last few laps, so it's almost not worth it overall for the general speed that you lose. But that's personal opinion. Everybody's different. Everybody likes something different. I feel more comfortable on one Inters. So Benny up into 2nd now with Donkey Dan pitting. Donkey's dropped down into 12th position after that pit stop, but obviously will have the fresh tyres now. Prince now with a 2-second lead on Benny. 10k picking up a 3-second time penalty. So Shabby there working his way back up into 6th place. Obviously still to pit, has been into the pits once for a drive-through, but still needs to pit to change tyres. Michael also recovering so far back into 8th position. So good recovery drives by those two. We'll see how much further they can get. So Brendan Xavi here seem to be one of the closest battles that we've got on track at the moment. Xavi and the Ferrari, both on 11-lap-old Inters, so nobody having the advantage, or disadvantage, so to speak. We'll see if Xavi can make a move here. He's very close. It looks like he's going to go around the outside there. Okay, is he going to make the... I'm not sure if he got a better drive off it there. Right, into the pits. So Prince is into the pits from the lead. We've also got Stein in and Tickett in. So Benny takes the lead. So yes, he does have to make his pit stop, if he's going to make a pit stop. But currently sitting pretty with a near 2-second lead on Bosmots. Shabby now back up into 3rd position. But as I say, still does have that pit stop to make. Michael there making a nice clean move around the outside of 10k going into Lacombe. So at the end of the Kemmel Straight, I did say that is going to be the best place for overtaking. Certainly normally is in the dry. Obviously with the use of DRS in the wet, it's not quite as effective, but it is still the best overtaking opportunity on the track. So yeah, gap spreading out a little bit. 10k, just under a second behind Michael now, who's worked his way back up in the 4th. So we've got the 3rd and 4th Shabby and Michael have worked their way all the way back up after that drive-through. Prince came back out in 9th, so our net leader, after his pit stop, currently in 9th. Obviously will be closing in on Black Mamba with 12 lap fresher tyres. So from one Williams to the other, Black Mamba. So he's about... And Xavi pits. He's had enough of those inters as well, so he'll be coming in. But Benny's keeping going. Quite happy out front. He's keeping that gap round about the 2 second to Bossmots. Let's keep an eye on how Shabby's doing behind. Obviously tyres are going to be the same age, so there's going to be no advantage there. But it'll just be interesting to see what pace Shabby's got to close down on these guys, if indeed he can. Okay, so Xavi coming out of the pits now. Is he going to get... Looks like he might just keep in front of Invisible. He does indeed. He does not, should I say. He's actually dropped behind, but we'll see if he can go for the move up the Kemmel Straight. As I say, he will have... He's got 4 lap fresher tyres, so nothing major, but he goes for a move up the inside, going to Lacombe, thinks better of it and ducks back out. That's probably a wise move, to be honest with you. Chalker's having a very lonely race. Does set the fastest lap, 153.555, so he has the pace, but unfortunately the first opening couple of laps weren't kind to him. So Benny now extending the gap. In 2.4 seconds, Shabby has the gap down to just under a second. So we keep an eye on him. We also need to keep an eye on Prince, currently in 8th position. Looks to make a move shortly on Black Mamba, half a second behind. And we'll just have a look. I can't see, he's not going to go for a move onto the start-finish line. Okay, Shabby now closing on Boss Mots. Will he be... There's too big a gap there for him to close on this straight, unfortunately. Let's have a look, see if Prince can get a move on Mamba again. I think he's just a little bit too far back. Had he had the use of DRS, that would have been completely different, but it's what it is in the wet condition. And Shabby making a move around the outside of Bossmots there. I'm not sure if Bossmots made a mistake or whether he let Shabby through because of the pace difference. I believe it might have been a small mistake, but Shabby now up into 2nd place, 3.1 seconds behind Benny. We'll see if he can chase that down, but I mean the front now doing have done 14 laps on the inters. It's I'd be surprised if they're going to pit now, to be honest with you. It's getting towards that point. I mean lap 15 Benny's on. So what have we got? 8 laps. 7.5 laps left on these. I think it's doable. It just depends how they're feeling on them. But yeah, Benny's not going to stop. Shabby's not stopping. Bossmots no. Michael no. Brem picking up a 3-second penalty there. Not quite sure what that was for. But he now has 3-4 cars really close behind him, so I can see there might be a move coming on the Kemmel Straight. But currently Bren leading this this small train of cars with Mamba, Prince, Donkey Dan involved. Stein just behind, Tickard not far behind there either, so again, we could end up with a nice little battle here, but see. I'll keep my eyes on Michael as well in 4th position, because he seems to be closing his way up on Bosmots, is what I was going to say, but I almost missed an overtake there. Prince Giller looks like he's going to make a move. He does at Bruxelles, goes the inside, has much better traction than Prince on those than Member on those 15 lap old mediums. So Prince up into 7th place. Bosmot's picking up a penalty there. It's going to be a shame. It's going to hurt him in 3rd place. Michael now behind Bosmot's. Obviously not going to go for a move here. We'll see if he can get a better drive out of this corner onto the start-finish line. Doesn't look like he's going to, so perhaps he's going to line it up for a move down the Kemmel Straight. We'll keep an eye there and see what's going on. But I'm also interested in this battle from 6th. Mamba has dropped a couple of places there. I think he had a moment coming out of the final corner, out of that chicane. If you get on the power too early, it really does spin the back tyres up. And obviously in the wet it's even worse. So here we are on board with Michael. Is he going to go for a move on Bosmots? Looks like he's going to try around the outside, but Bosmots going defensive and keeps the position. Good defensive drive in there from Bosmots, but Michael hasn't given up yet. Is he going to make a move and go for a late break into Bruxelles round the outside? Okay, nice and close, nice and clean, giving each other ample room. But Michael certainly looks like he's got the pace to get past Bosmots here. It's just a matter of time and just waiting for that opportunity and taking it. Tenke there picking up a 3-second time penalty as well. Not good for him, currently sitting in 5th place. This looks like the closest battle we're going to have. Michael does like to go for a move into the chicane there. He's very quick on the, very late on the brakes, I think. He's got it very much under control. He takes the inside, gets a much better drive. Will he go around? No, he dives for the inside. That's a cracking move by Michael. Can he get it stopped in time? Teeny bit of wing on tyre banging there, but nothing major. In real life, he could have ended up with a puncture there, but Michael now up into 3rd position. A cracking move from Michael there, but this went to go down the left-hand side, dummied, and then went for a dive up the inside. So that was really good. So, right, okay. Benny, 3.7 second lead. Michael picking up a 3-second time penalty just as he gets himself past Bosmots, so that's not going to help him. But yeah, going back to it, Benny in the lead currently in the Red Bull. 3.7 seconds clear of Shabby in the Alfa Romeo. In 3rd, a further 3.4 seconds back, we have Michael in the McLaren. Ticket there picking up a penalty. 4th place, we've got Bosmots in the Mercedes. Then 10K in the Williams does have some time penalties as well. Prince Killer in the AlphaTauri in 6th place, working his way back up as he was our net leader, but looks like nobody in front of him is going to stop. So he will be quick in the last few laps, but whether he can make up enough time, I doubt that, to be honest. Donkey Dan was a leader for quite a while after the drive-through penalties, currently sitting in 7th place. Still not a bad result for him, I say in as a reserve driver in the Alfa Romeo. Stein currently in 8th place in the Aston Martin. Then we have Mamba in the Williams, closely followed by Tickard in the Red Bull. Brennan 11th in the Alpine. In 12th we have Xavi in the Ferrari. 13th Kiko in the second AlphaTauri. Invisible in the Aston Martin in 14th, and Chalkers, our championship leader, currently in 15th. Still going round, as I say, still anything can happen. But it's it does seem like he might have missed an opportunity here. We've got a yellow in Sector 3. Looks like Brent's lost his front wing there. Oh, sorry, Bren, not Brent. So Bren will obviously be coming into the pits. That's pretty much paid to his race. It's so difficult to get in that pit, so the best of times, let alone with no front wing. So Tickard now on the back of Mamba, and we have Stein right on the back of Donkey Dan here. We'll see if Stein can go for a move. Both on fairly fresh inters compared to everyone else, 6 and 5 laps. Old tyres, so certainly no one's going to have a mega advantage over each other. But they're keeping the gap about 0.3, the same as behind Tickard, keeping about 0.2, 0.3 behind Mamba. Let's go Marco, keep it going, let's pick up some points today. Bren picking up a penalty there and is out. We have a safety car. Oh my goodness, we have a safety car with 3 laps to go. Basically means the safety car is going to be in. It's only going to be out for a lap and a bit because we have to have 2 laps worth of racing. I'm not quite sure what happened to Bren there. Oh, Benny, it's such a shame. You picked yourself up with a 4.5 second gap. You were looking comfortable. But you have managed to get past the safety car before it actually came out. So you still have a chance to pit. Shabby going brave there onto softs. Is it dry enough? It still looks too wet to me. That's a very brave move by Shabby. But we've got some more actually. Michael going on the softs. 10k on the softs. Black Mamba on the softs. Xavi on the softs. I wonder if Ben's going to pit here and put a set of softs on as well. I think it'd be silly if he doesn't, because everyone round him is going to be on the softs if it's dry enough. But DRS hasn't been enabled yet. So it's a bit of a gamble. Could be at that crossover. But the hard thing is going to be putting getting heat into the tyres. Looks like Stein picked up a penalty there for a severe collision, so it looks like we've had some banging. Let's have a quick look at the penalties at the moment. We have 5 seconds for Donkey Dan, 5 for Stein in 5th. In 6th, Michael's got 3. Bossmots has 3. 10k 9. Black Mamba 3. Ticket 6. Xavi 6. Kiko 3. And Chalkers picking up 3 seconds as well. So quite a few penalties in there. Benny does indeed come into the pits. Be interesting to see if he can keep the lead. Benny coming back out. Is he going to keep the lead from Prince? Going to be very close. Going to be very, very close. I think he's just going to do it. He has, yeah. Benny back out into the lead. So we are status quo. Benny, Prince. Oh, Prince hasn't stopped. That's brave for Prince, going for the last. Well, it's going to be last. Why is the safety car not in? We're going to have a 1 lap dash. Now, normally the safety car comes in with 2 laps to go, regardless, but this one looks like we're going to have a last lap dash. If we're even going to get that far, because I can't see the lights of Chalkers and Invisible going round and closing up. I'm not even sure we're going to get the likes of Stein and Xavi down in 9th and 10th that are going to get a chance to close up. But we might do. Obviously they're going to go very slow in that last sector, but 1 lap shootout, well, it's going to be interesting. So yeah, just looking at the chat, it looks like unfortunately the top 3 got drive-through penalties when they were actually still in the green. So I believe it's another glitch by Codemasters. So very unfortunate for those 3. It's bad enough when you do speed under the safety car, but or under the virtual safety car, but when you don't and you still get a penalty, then that's very, very annoying. So you know, guys, I'm sorry to hear that, but you know, don't let it affect your racing. Okay, so we have got the field closing up ever so slightly. But yeah, 1 lap shootout. We'll see what happens. So we've got 3 capable drivers in 1st, 2nd and 3rd. So Prince, I'm not sure if he's made the right decision or not to go on to the... or to continue on the Inters, but I suppose he's got nothing to lose. They're only 7 laps old as well, and so we haven't got DRS available yet, so you never know. So here we are now approaching the chicane. The safety car is coming in on this lap, so we are looking at a 1 lap shootout for the Belgian Grand Prix in Division 1. And here we go. Looks like Benny's got a great start there. Obviously so much more grip than Prince behind him, and Shabby up the inside. Prince is going to struggle on these Inters. Got Michael now is going to come up the inside as well. So yeah, Prince needed to come in and put those softs on, but Benny with a 1.7 second lead. Just from the safety car. If he can keep this going, he's coming to the end of sector 1 now, so 2 more sectors to go to claim his maiden DTR victory, and it's obviously his first in Division 1 this year after his 2nd race of the season. So Mambra and Donkey Dan unfortunately, it looks like everybody on the Inters now are dropping like flies. They've just not got the speed. Looks like it changed over just at the point of the safety car perhaps ending. So they were doing, you know, perhaps it's just a lap longer and they'd have been in a good position. But Shabby now closing the gap down to under a second. Michael not far behind either, also closing that down into second, under us, or just over a second now. So, but Shabby on Benny. There's only one place he can go for a move, and that's for a late break into the chicane. But I think he's too far back to go for that now. He is indeed. Benny keeps it together, and Benny comes across the line to win the Belgian Grand Prix. Congratulations, Benny. That's his maiden victory for DTR. 2nd place, Shabby, a great recovery drive considering he had that drive-through penalty. Michael as well moving his way up into 3rd place after that drive-through. We then have Boss Boss in 4th, Mamba in 5th, Kiko in 6th, Ticket 7th, 8th, Xavi, sorry, 9th, 10K, 10th, Prince Killer, 11th, Donkey Dan, 12th, Invisible. I think we were looking at then Stein and then Chalkers, or Chalkers then Stein, I believe, with penalties at the end there. So congratulations to Benny. Fantastic drive. Absolutely fantastic drive. Made the right decision at the end there to come in and put the softs on. I think you could see by everybody that stayed on the inters, they just dropped like stones, unfortunately. But it's you have to make that decision, and it's a split decision. Some you win, and some you lose. But unfortunately, on this occasion, it didn't work out for him. But many congratulations, as I say, to race winner Benny. Great win there. Shabby recovering into second in the with the Alfa Romeo, and in third, Michael recovering his McLaren after that drive through up into a third. So there we have it. That was Division 1 DTR Racing Belgian Grand Prix at Spa-Francorchamps. I hope you've enjoyed it. There's certainly been some some strategy helped out here, certainly with the last safety car. I have to admit, it's the first time I've seen a safety car just over 1 lap, normally over 2 laps, but nothing should really surprise you at all with Codemasters these days. So, well, thank you for joining me. We are back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock with Division 2 and Division 4. We'll be racing, and then on Thursday at 8 o'clock we have Division 3. So please join us. Hopefully there'll be some good racing in that as well. So tune in. DTR, Delta T Racing on YouTube. They will be broadcast live. I've been Nellboy. Thank you for listening. I wish you all to have a good